The heart monitor beeped steadily behind me as I stared at her. She didn't flinch. "Sign it," she repeated, dropping a pen on the tray table near my hand. "I want a perfect husband, not this." Her hand gestured vaguely at my wheelchair, like I was a broken appliance that needed replacing. "Hi, my name is Cole Waverly. A month ago, I got hit by a drunk driver. Spinal damage, temporary paralysis. The doctor said with rehab, I'd probably walk again. But my wife, she saw a burden, not a man." I took the pen, didn't say a word, signed the divorce request. She grinned. "Good, you made the smart choice." Then she turned, heels clicking against the sterile hospital floor, and vanished out the door like I was already erased. The nurse blinked. "You okay?" I gave a calm, cold smile. "Yeah, just fine." Before she left, I said one more thing. "Pay your own hospital expenses." She laughed like I was bluffing, but she doesn't know one thing. She never checked who the insurance was under, and she definitely didn't look closely at the name I signed on that divorce form. It wasn't Cole Waverly, the name I signed. Nathaniel Cole, my legal alias, a name I've only used on certain contracts, and the holding company I created years ago, the one that owns the house, the vehicles, and yes, even the health insurance policy she's been riding on for 5 years. She never asked. She never cared. My full legal name, Cole Nathaniel Waverly, was something she only heard once on our wedding day before she insisted I shorten it for simplicity. That Cole sounded more masculine, more marketable. I didn't fight her then. I don't fight small things. I build around them, quietly, methodically. And now, sitting in this ICU bed, I realized she never once asked about the financial paperwork, about the LLC name on our shared assets, or who handled the premiums. She just smiled, took the credit cards, planned her Pilates retreats, and left the back end to me until she found something shinier, healthier, better. Now she thinks she's free. She thinks she dumped the baggage before it started to rot, but the insurance cancellation notice that'll hit her inbox at midnight, and the house key, it stops working in 2 days. She moved fast. 2 days after the divorce papers, she was posting smiling selfies at a rooftop bar, tagging some guy named Bryce and captions that said things like, "Finally free" and "Fresh starts only." I recognized him, the physical therapist. He used to come to our house for her mom's recovery sessions. Guess I wasn't the only one getting treated. I didn't react, just watched. Meanwhile, the systems I'd quietly built with her name nowhere near them started shifting. The luxury SUV leased under my alias returned. Her gym membership canceled. Credit card denied. She tried calling me that evening, voice venom sweet. "There's something wrong with the car, and did the internet get shut off?" I sipped my tea. "Might want to check the name on the account." Click. Her real panic began the next morning when the hotel receptionist told her the reservation was void, the card on file declined, and no replacement. She was standing there in full designer gear with nowhere to sleep. I was watching the security footage because what she also didn't know, the entire building was under Waverly Holdings LLC, and I owned every square inch. 2 weeks passed. She didn't hear from me. The silence, it started to bother her. I heard from a friend that she had shown up at my old apartment unannounced, stood outside honking like she used to. No one came to the door. She left. The next day, she was served papers at her gym, a quiet, unexpected delivery from Waverly Holdings. She opened the envelope, expecting bills. It was a foreclosure notice. Her ifted condo had defaulted. The account behind it had been slowly drained legally by the real owner, me. That night, I got a voicemail. "Hi, it's me. I think there's been some sort of mistake. Call me." There wasn't. By then, I'd already flown to Seattle, a new office, a new penthouse, a new start with people who didn't need me to walk to recognize my value. She had once said I was a burden in a wheelchair, but here's the truth. She didn't realize I was the architect of her entire lifestyle, and now all that was left to collapse was the illusion she had built her ego on. It started small. Her gym membership was declined. Then her favorite credit card, the black one she used to flaunt, stopped working at the spa. She called the bank furious. They told her the co-owner on the accounts had pulled all funds. She said there must be a mistake, but there wasn't. I'd legally removed myself from everything, and everything was legally mine to begin with. She was living in a house she never paid for, driving a car she didn't own, and spending money she thought would never run out. But the trust fund, I had transferred it to the real name on the original hospital file. What? She still hadn't realized who had been paying for her mother's private care home or her sister's grad school tuition. She thought her charm was currency. She never saw the ledger. One morning, she posted a desperate story. Some people are just evil. That was the first time she'd acknowledged I existed since she left me in that ICU bed. I watched in silence, because when you remove the illusion of wealth from someone who used you, all that's left is their true character exposed. She tried calling again. This time, she didn't bother masking the desperation in her voice. "Cole, we need to talk. I didn't mean what I said that day. I was overwhelmed. I miss you." I didn't respond. Instead, I forwarded the voicemail to my lawyer, along with her previous text to Bryce. He finally signed, "I'm free. Let's celebrate, baby." She hadn't realized while I was lying in that ICU bed, quietly nodding along, I was also recording everything. She hadn't realized I had power of attorney over the medical bills she thought were magically disappearing, and she sure didn't know that the foundation she used for social clout, the one with her name on all the charity gala flyers, was being rebranded to someone else. Because now, with her name scrubbed from every file, every title, every tax document, she was just a woman with an Instagram filter and a long list of unpaid bills. I'd been a ghost to her, quiet, passive, easy to discard. Now I was the shadow she couldn't shake, and the world she thought she ruled wasn't hers anymore. The final blow came on a rainy Tuesday. She walked into the boutique law firm she used for her socialite divorce, the one she bragged about having on speed dial. The receptionist looked up, recognized her name, and gave a tight smile. "Mr. Waverly requested we hand this to you personally." Inside the folder was a single sheet of paper, a cease and desist on unauthorized use of the Waverly Foundation's name and assets. She flipped the page over. At the bottom was my signature, but this time spelled out fully. Cole Nathaniel Waverly, majority shareholder, sole trustee, and final decision maker. She tried to protest. "Wait, he left all that when he signed." The lawyer stepped out of his office, already shaking his head. "Your ex-husband didn't leave anything. You just never saw what he built." That night, she finally called one last time. No anger, no excuses, just a single line. "Cole, why didn't you tell me who you really were?" I stared at the screen. "Because you never asked," I thought. "You just assumed I was furniture, a thing. And I don't explain myself to people who only see the chair, not the man in it." I wheeled myself into the press conference, dressed in a tailored suit, no trace of pity or pain in my voice. Flashes popped as I approached the podium. Reporters leaned in. Behind me, the new billboard lit up. Not of our company, but the foundation I launched in my late father-in-law's name. The crowd murmured. "My name," I began calmly, "is Cole Nathaniel Waverly." A screen dropped behind me, revealing documents, filings, silent partnerships, and donation records. Every dollar she'd ever spent had been traced to me. Every apartment, every car, even the hospital. Today, I resigned from the board. My wife will receive the remaining portion of the divorce settlement, which is effectively nothing. There were no screams, no applause, just a deafening silence, the kind that happens when illusions collapse. She stood at the edge of the stage, red-eyed, silent, not from guilt but from the sudden, irreversible realization she never knew who I was, and now she never would, because some men don't need to shout to be heard. We just wait, we just build, and when the time is right, we leave without saying